Hello everybody, welcome back to Wee Stories with Ona. Up next, The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. Once upon a time, there were 4 wee rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail and Peter. "Now, my dears," said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, "you can run through the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an unfortunate accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief." Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to gather food for tonight's family dinner. Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, who were good wee bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden. He squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuces and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. But Peter started to feel rather sick. He went to look for some parsley to settle his tummy. But round the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster. He might have gotten away, but unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. Peter felt lost and he shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows, who flew to him in great excitement and encouraged him to pull himself together. Then out of nowhere, Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter. But Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. Peter rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a watering can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it wasn't full of water. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each, but then Peter let out a big sneeze. Achoo! Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. Mr. McGregor got so close he almost trampled on Peter, who jumped out of a window, knocking over 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He sighed and went back to his work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he didn't know which way to go. He was becoming cold after sitting in that watering can, so he began to wander about, looking for a clue. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a plump wee rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Peter carried on and came to a pond. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched. Peter thought it best not disturbing her. He went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard a large noise. Peter climbed upon a wheelbarrow in fright. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor, hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got down off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go behind some blackcurrant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes, using it to make a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looking behind him till he got home to the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was his second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, giving a cup of it to Peter. But Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. The end.
Hello everybody, it's Ona here. Did you enjoy that wee story? Well, I hope you did. If you'd like to hear more from the author, you can look at the description for links and books below. I hope to see you next time, but for now, cheerio!